Week 8 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitches I will look to drop this week. The first guy is Jameson Taillon of the New York Yankees. So Taillon, he came off a bad injury with Tommy John last season and got traded to the Yankees in this offseason here. And so far for Taillon, 42 and 2/3, 1-3 record, 40 hits, 24 earned runs, 9 homers given up, 12 walks, 50 strikeouts, a 5.06 ERA, and a 1.22 whip with 1 quality start. So Taillon, obviously, it was a devastating injury, Tommy John, and sometimes it takes pitchers a while to get back into the groove of things. 1 or 2 years, supposedly, it takes. So they're at full health, and this season, Taillon, he's been a total mess for the most part, especially for fantasy baseball. And right now, he's still owned in 40% of fantasy leagues, but he's not a guy I really could go out there and trust on my fantasy roster right now is Taillon, with only 1 quality start so far in the first 8 weeks of the season. And the last couple outings here for Taillon, May 13th at Tampa, 4 2/3, got the loss, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, a homer, giving up 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, a 7.71 ERA, and a 1.71 whip. Then May 18th at Texas, 4 1/3, no decision, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, a homer, giving up 2 walks, 3 Ks, an 8.31 ERA, a 1.85 whip. And then his latest outing versus the Chicago White Sox, a no decision once again. And he actually completed 5 innings in that ball game. 2 hits, 2 walks, 4 Ks, no runs, 0.80 whip. But right here, he's not going deep into games. I know he's on one of the better teams in all of baseball with the New York Yankees. But right now, he's a pitcher I definitely can't trust on my fantasy roster. And he would be the first guy I would look to drop here. The next guy is Dylan Bundy of the Los Angeles Angels. So Dylan Bundy, a great season he had last year. But this season, it's back to the old ways of Bundy, where he was on the Baltimore Orioles. And right now, fantasy owners, they're getting fed up with Bundy. And he's been dropped in 7% of fantasy leagues over the last few days. And so far this season, 45 2/3, 0-5 record, 48 hits, 33 earned runs, 9 homers, 13 walks, 48 strikeouts, a 6.5 ERA, a 1.34 whip, and 5 quality starts. So right here, Dylan Bundy, he's been a train wreck this season. And right now, fantasy owners are going out there and dropping him. And I think there's no need to holding on to Bundy right now. He's on an Angel team that's struggling. And obviously, this Angel team, they're going to have trouble this season now scoring runs with Mike Trout most likely out till July. So right here, Bundy, he's got no victories this season. And his last 3 outings, he's failed to even reach the 5th inning in his ball games. May 8th versus the Dodgers, 3 1/3, got the loss, 5 hits, 6 earned runs, a walk, 3 Ks, 16.20 ERA, a 1.80 whip. May 15th at Boston, 4 innings, got the loss, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 homers, giving up 2 walks, 3 Ks, a 15.75 ERA, and a 2.5 whip. And then May 23rd versus Oakland, 2 1/3. Luckily for him, he got a no decision, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, giving up a walk, 2 strikeouts, a 15.43 ERA, and a 2.57 whip. So Dylan Bundy, he's been a total nightmare here for the Angels and for fantasy owners. And now we know why the Angels didn't give him a big contract here in the offseason, because he was a one-hit wonder, it looks like. And right now, he's an easy drop, in my opinion, this week. The next guy is Kenta Maeda of the Minnesota Twins. So Maeda, he's banged up and went on the injured list a couple days ago here with the groin injury. And Maeda, even before the injury, he was a recommended drop a few weeks ago. So far in the season, 42 2/3, 2-2 record, 52 hits, 25 earned runs, 9 homers, given up 11 walks, 39 strikeouts, a 5.27 ERA, and a 1.48 whip with 1 quality starts in the first 7 weeks of the season. Only 1 quality start under the belt of Maeda. And I know last season Maeda was great on the year with a 6-1 record with a 2.70 ERA, but this season he just couldn't get anything going so far before he went down with the groin injury. And now with the struggles in the groin injury, I think he's a player that fantasy owners easily could get away from. And so far, they've dropped him in 6% of fantasy leagues this week. So the last couple outings here for Maeda, May 16th versus Oakland, 4 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts, a 6.75 ERA, and an 0.80 whip for Maeda. Then his other outing, May 22nd in Cleveland, 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned, a homer, giving up a walk, 6 Ks, a 5.40 ERA, and a 0.80 whip. So now with the injury and with him struggling, it's Minnesota Twin team not scoring many runs this season. This is definitely an easy drop in my opinion, and a guy I wouldn't stash in Kenta Maeda. The next pitch is Wade Miley of the Cincinnati Reds. So Wade Miley threw a no-hitter a few weeks ago. Then he got hit up pretty decent in his next outing, and now he's on the injured list with a sprained foot. So with the sprained foot, I'm guessing he'll probably miss anywhere from 4 to 6 week timetable. Here is Wade Miley. So far in the season, 43 and 2/3, 4-4 record, 36 hits, 17 earned runs, 3 homers, 11 walks, 34 strikeouts, a 3.50 ERA, 1.80 whip, and 3 quality starts. So Miley, he was having a pretty productive season with a mid-3 ERA, even in a bandbox like Cincinnati, and a no-hitter under his belt in the last few outings before he went down with the injury. May 7th at Cleveland, where he threw the no-hitter in that one, 8 strikeouts and 0.11 whip in that one. May 14th at Colorado, 3 innings he only lasted, got the loss, 11 hits, 8 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks, a 24 ERA, and a 4.67 whip. And then May 19th versus the Giants, 4 2/3, got the loss, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 2 Ks, 1.93 ERA, and a 1.29 whip. So the last 2 out of 3 outings were pretty bad for Miley. And now with the injury, he's a player that a lot of fantasy owners have already gone away from. He's been dropped in the last couple weeks here in 35% of fantasy leagues since he went on the injured list. And right now, he's a guy I would definitely drop unless you got tons of injured lists, like 4 or 5 you could stash on your team, but he's not going to come back anytime soon. And if he gets pitching good again, then you go back there and pick him up. But right now, it's not a necessity to keep Miley on your team. And the 5th and final pitcher, I look to drop this week's Tyler Anderson of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So Anderson was a recommended ad in week 6 and 7, but now the last 2 or 3 outings, he's really been getting hit hard, is Tyler Anderson. And he's obviously on a bad Pittsburgh Pirate team as it is this season, is Anderson. So now with the struggles and a bad team behind him, there's no reason to keep him on your fantasy team anymore, is Tyler Anderson. So on the season, he's gone 51 in the 3rd inning, 3-4 record is Anderson, 47 hits, 27 earned runs, 8 homers given up, 16 walks, 51 Ks, 4.73 ERA, 1.23 whip, and 3 quality starts. But the last couple of weeks here, 10 innings, 0-1 record, 16 hits, 13 earned runs, 5 homers, 4 walks, 14 Ks, 11.70 ERA, and a 2 whip. So he's been dropped in 6% of leagues in the last couple of days. And Anderson, he was really pitching well until the last few outings here. May 9th at Chicago, he went 8 innings, got the win versus the Cubs, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, a walk, 6 Ks, a 2.25 ERA, and an 0.63 whip with a quality start. Then May 15th versus former team San Francisco, 5 innings, no decision. He got hit pretty decent in that one, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 2 homers given up, 7 Ks, 7.20 ERA, a 1.60 whip. And then May 21st at the Braves, he got destroyed in that one, 5 innings, got the loss, 10 hits, 9 earned runs, 3 homers given up, 2 walks, 7 Ks, 16.20 ERA, and a 2.40 whip. So right here, it's been a train wreck for Anderson, and he's just not producing. And his next outing's May 27th versus the Cubs, but I wouldn't trust him. So that's a few pitches I would look to drop here in Week 8 of the fantasy baseball season.